Hey gaming fans! So today I'm going to be looking at another deck profile. This is one that I've played around with a few times, and I just made some modifications to it because I just had a few more ideas that I just want to try out. So obviously this is a work in progress. This is not like, you know, tested and true and it's going to play perfectly. But I just wanted to share it with you because, you know, it's always good to show off and get some, you know, some opinions from outside people who might have some different ideas or might say certain things won't work. Anyways, let's get to the deck profile. So this is Melodious. Of course, it's a pure Melodious. I don't really play much else. And the idea is, you know, sort of like to control the board and bring out your big fusion monsters and stuff. So let's take that aside and get to the deck. So the first two cards I play two copies of is Score the Melodious Diva. This one's okay. It's kind of like Honest, which I almost debated playing in this deck instead is Honest, because Honest is a good card. But this one kind of, it works with the archetype itself, and Honest will gain the attack, your monster will gain the attack of the attacking monster, whereas this actually just reduces the other monster to 0. So this could actually do a lot more damage if your monster is huge. And I'm thinking, you know, this kind of works. And you can play it during either player's turn. So I'm going to start with 2. Just, you know, I don't want to draw it too often, and I don't want to not draw it. So I think 2 might be good enough. The next one I play 2 of is Sonata, the Melodious Diva. So all these themes are all about music, I guess. If you control a Melodious monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Well, this special summon card's on the field. All fairy type monsters, which is all of them, gain 500 attack and defense. So it's a good booster. It's a good extender. You get it on the field. You know, it's just it can help you get into XYZ plays if you want to do that. It's a 3, so I don't know if I'd get into too much for that. But you know, it's just another body on the field. So I'm gonna go with 2 of those. The next one is Soprano, the Melodious Songstress. This one's kind of an odd one. It's one of those cards that allows you to fusion summon. From the way it reads, it sounds like you don't need polymerization, which is good. When this card is special summon, you could target one Melodious monster in your graveyard, except Soprano, the Melodious Songstress, added to your hand, which is good because you do a lot of special summoning of these guys, or I should say girls. You can only use the effect of once per turn. Once per turn, you could fusion summon one Melodious fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion materials, including this card. So it kind of has a built-in polymerization, lets you fuse without having to worry about that extra card. And it actually fuses them. It doesn't special summon them, which is good, because I know a lot of those other cards in the past, they would just special summon the card, so it wouldn't be able to revive. So we're going to go with 3 of those, just so we can get into our fusion monsters. The next one, I play 3 Solo, the Melodious Songstress. Essentially what this does is if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Melodious from your deck, which is good because it doesn't have a level restriction or an attack restriction on what you could special summon. So you could take any of your Melodious monsters. And there's a lot of big ones in this deck, so we'll get to that soon. So that's why I'm playing 3, because even if you have to ram it into a big monster just to pull out what you need, or just to pull out one that you want to get their special effects off, because a lot of them get special effects off the fact that they're being special summoned. So the other one I'm playing 3 of is Area, if I'm saying that right, Area, the Melodious Diva. Now this is the card, when I first saw this card, this is what made me really want to play this deck. So when this card is special summoned to the field, Melodious monsters you control cannot be targeted by card effects or destroyed by battle. And that's pretty big. I mean, you can't target them, you can't destroy them by battle. So the only thing that can destroy them would be cards that like Dark Hole and stuff like that. But there is a way around that, so we'll get to that too. And so that's it for the ones that you could normal summon if you need to. It's all level 4 and less. So now we're getting into the big guys. So let's take these away and go into the big guys. So this is a level 5 monster. Elegy, the Melodious Diva. That's the guy there. So what this guy does is special summon melodious monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card was special summoned, all fairy type monsters you control gain 300 attack. Now the cool thing is he doesn't need to be special summoned to use this effect. You can normal summon him and you give all special summoned monsters, they can't be destroyed. Or I guess if you special summon him, it's even better because he prevents himself from being destroyed by card effects. So you can see these two work in tandem. So this one prevents battle damage and effects from targeting. This one prevents from anything else destroying them. So then these cards would be impervious to Dark Hole, Torrential Tribute, or anything else that might blow up the field. And they can't be targeted. So these are the two guys you want to get on the field at the same time. And if you can, special summon this guy. So I'm playing 3 of those. So the next big one, I've decided on one of this guy. I don't know, I might bump him up to 2. Sophina, the Melodious Maestra, I think that's how you say it. Once per turn, you can target one light fairy type monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You cannot activate non-light monster effects during the turn you activate this effect, which is really a moot point on this card because all your cards are light. And so it just kind of allows you to recycle. So you can even recycle this guy here. If you've already used his effect to reduce a monster to 0, you can bring it back to your hand. Or if one of your other Melodious ended up in the graveyard, you can just get it back. So I'm playing 1 because I don't know if that's always going to be a case. And on to the last monster, which I think is one of the coolest ones, and I'm playing 3 of them, is Mozart. Of course it's Mozart. The Melodious Maestra. I think it's Maestra. I could be saying that wrong. Once per turn, you can special summon one light fairy type monster from your hand. So that's really cool. If this guy's on the field, you could special summon any of your Melodious monsters from your hand and get that effect going of when they're special summoned. And it doesn't matter about their, if they're big, because you can just special summon it. And of course it says you cannot special summon other monsters this turn except for light monsters, which again doesn't matter because this whole deck is light. He's a 2600. It's too bad he's not 2800. For those level 8 big beat stick monsters that you usually got in these decks, you always wanted the 2800 or more attack, but that's okay. I mean, you do have other effects, like this guy boosts up all fairies by 300, and then you got the other guy that boosts up by 500, so they can get pretty big, so it really doesn't matter. And so that's the monster lineup right there. Now let's get into the spells and traps. So for the first spell, a really important one, which this was what we needed when this archetype first came out, and we didn't have it right away. So it really made a difference, and that was first movement solo. So what this says is, if you control no monster, special summon one level 4 or lower Melodious monster from your hand or deck. You can only activate 1 per turn, obviously, because once you have one on the field, you can't activate it anyways, unless it got destroyed somehow. You cannot special summon monsters during this turn you activate it except for Melodious monsters. Big deal. So this pretty much gets off any of their effects, because once they get special summoned from this, you now have their effect in play. So you can actually, take your, what was it? I'm going to find them in here. There's a few of them in there, actually, that you would want, like this guy. You can get him on the field in defense mode. He can't be targeted, can't be destroyed by battle. So unless your opponent's going to, like, Dark Hole first turn, whatever. But this is definitely what makes the deck move. And it's a good first turn play. So you want to go first, you're going to play that. Then some cards to get them onto this field, special summoning. Celestial Transformation. So I'm trying 2 of this. Special summon one fairy type monster from your hand, half the attack of that monster, and destroy it during the end phase. My thought on that is, if I can get out the guy that prevents them from being destroyed by card effects, I think that this would not do anything. Like it would special summon the monster. Sure, they would have half attack, but maybe you want to special summon this guy just to use his effect once. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why you could use this, and even if the monster dies, you could still get something out of it. Then we got Photon Lead. I play 2 of those. Again, you know, these are quick play spells, so you could set them and actually activate them on your opponent's turn if you really want to, just to save your butt. So Photon Lead, special summon 1 level 4 or lower light monster from your hand in face-up attack position. Now, that's okay. Some of these monsters you probably don't want them in attack mode, but if you had to, it still works. And you know, you can activate it during the end of your opponent's turn. It comes into attack mode, and then next turn you turn it to defense. So not a big deal. Or if you just summon whatever you need, then you could use it as tribute. So the next one is something to get special summon monsters out fast. Monster Gate. So I'm playing 3 of these. I was considering Reasoning, but I think with Reasoning, a lot of the times your opponent would probably yell 4, and you would probably hit a 4. So I don't want to take that gamble. So Monster Gate is pretty much the same as Reasoning, where you just flip cards off the top of your deck till you hit a monster that can be normal summon, and you special summon it to the field. Everything else goes to the graveyard. The only downside is you have to tribute a monster to do it. So you could probably tribute one of the ones you normal summoned, or I'm just going to move that so you can see a little bit better, or I play cards like this, Scapegoat. So I could use Scapegoat. I could set Scapegoat. It's a quick play spell. I could set it on my turn. If my opponent attacks, I could activate it. And if they leave 1 behind, I got a tribute, you know, for Monster Gate. Or if I really need to make sure I keep 1 behind, I can let a few attacks go through, then flip this card. Then they can maybe only attack 2 of them. Then I have a target for my Monster Gate. And kind of following suit with Scapegoat, 3 Photon Sanctuary. So this one, it's sort of like Scapegoat. It's not a quick play. So you special summon 2 Photon tokens, Thunder, Light, level 4. So it's good that they're light monsters, because a lot of times you can't summon anything else but light monsters. And they go into a defense position. They cannot attack or be used as synchro material. That's okay, because I don't synchro in this deck at all. You cannot summon other monsters the turn you activate this card, except for light monsters. So again, all your cards are light. So you get two monsters out there. They're 2,000 attack, which is good, I guess. If one stays on the field, you could turn it to attack mode, and your opponent probably can't run over it with a little weenie guy. They have to run over it with something big, even though it can't attack. But either way, you're going to use Monster Gate on those tokens, or you're going to use it to tribute for this guy, or one of the other tribute summon monsters. So you could play that, tribute them both off, normal summon him, get his effect to special summon a Melodious monster. So it's pretty good concept. You know, again, I have to test this deck out thoroughly, but you know, this is just my main idea for this deck so far. And right now I'm just kind of throwing in some, you know, extra stuff like 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, just in case, you know, someone plays like Mystic Mine or something like that. At least you have some kind of an out. And again, Dark Hole, just to get rid of some monsters on the field that could cause problems. And same idea, Torrential Tribute. And the idea is that these cards here, Dark Hole, Torrential Tribute, if you're set up with your You Can't Be Destroyed cards, you know, you got those cards in there to prevent from being destroyed, then hopefully you can activate those. Your cards will be unaffected, your opponent's monsters will die. And of course, the last piece of this deck will be the fusion monsters that it comes with. Now you can put in XEs and all that other stuff right now. I haven't focused on that. But you got the 2 fusion monsters that work in, you know, these are the 2 that I have anyways. I'm not sure. I haven't done a lot of, you know, checking to see if other ones have been created since then or whatever. So you got this one, which is 2 Melodious monsters, so any 2. You'd be using that guy, because I don't play Polymerization, the guy that lets you fusion summon. So you'd use him and any other Melodious monster. During either player's turn, you could target up to 3 cards in any graveyards, banish them, and if you do, this card gains 200 attack for each. This effect can only be used once while this card is on the field. So he can go up by another 600, which brings him up to 3,000 attack. That's okay. That's a good finisher card. And I just got 3 of them right now, whatever. And there's this guy, Bloom Diva, the Melodious Choir. He's a little more specific. He requires one of the big guys, Melodious Maestra, whatever monster, and any other Melodious monster. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. If this card battles a special summon monster after damage calculation, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference between the original attack of that monster and this card, and if you do, destroy that monster. And he's 1,000 attack, so essentially you ram them into something huge, they take damage equal to the difference, then the monster's destroyed, and you get nothing. I mean, you got a monster still sitting there. Okay card, I don't know. I'd have to try it out. Now the other card I was going to play around with, which I've been thinking about, is super polymerization, or just regular polymerization, just to get those fusion guys out faster. And another neat thought I was thinking of was defusion, because you can normal summon, or polymerization I should say, one of these guys out using any of the special summoned, or any of the monsters in your hand I should say. Then you could defuse them to special summon them back to the field. Then they get their effects to be special summon. That's something I would play around with. I don't know if it will rip through my hand too fast, so I'm not sure. I'm going to try that out. But that's just definitely something I've been thinking about. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been thinking about for Melodious. But yeah, if you have any ideas, if you have any thoughts, if you've ever played this deck, any combos or anything that works for it, throw it down there in the comments below. I always like to hear your thoughts. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe to my channel. Talk to you later.